Hey, assalamu alaikum. This is Clifton Raheem Bradley from out of the United States of America. I am in Chicago, Illinois. Now, it may be day where you are, night where you are, to midday, but this is about, you know what? I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to do a show talking about Thanksgiving. Okay? And you know what? That means a whole lot to people. I'm not going to talk about some people know about. I go back into the etymology and go back into the history and all that. All I'm going to do is talk about the memories and ask people, what does it mean to you? Thanksgiving. What does it mean? What does it mean? And do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it? Do you have a good time? Does it mean just eating good food? That's why I put that picture up there, man, because you know what? I'm just reminiscing about, and Christmas. We talk about Christmas too. And does it make you feel lonely sometimes? Does it make you think about the loved ones that you used to have? Are your loved one is someplace else? What does it make you feel like? And you could join the chat room if you want to call me up. Hey, you know what? I can answer the question on I can answer the question on the phone. That's something that I can do. And what does Thanksgiving mean to me? I'm not gonna get into the other part, but what Thanksgiving meant to me is first of all good food. Because you know what, we used to pack ourselves in the car, and you know what, and did you do this? We used to go to grandmother's house and grandfather's house. And man, you know what? Just to ride, you know what? I was like, it was tantalizing. I was like, oh man, at the mouth. I couldn't wait to get to grandmother's house. You know what? Look back on it. You know, a lot of us, we do things that we should have done, that we wanted to do, but we could have spent more time with our grandmothers and our grandfathers. But some of us, we were so busy into our world, we wasn't thinking about that. Wasn't thinking about that. A lot of us wasn't thinking about that. You know, and then you know what? I would go over my grandmother's house and, oh, how you doing? Give us a big hug and a big kiss. And you know, I'm trying to be cool. I play it off. And it's like, you know, good fellas. Hey, the suit. You know, when Stack said something that I think it was Casino or something like that. But no, I never said that to my grandmother. I'm my grandfather. And you know what? I would go over there, and you know what? The table would be filled. It would be filled with pies. Because you know what? My grandmother, she loved to cook, and she entertained people. It would be macaroni and cheese, oh, stuffing, okay, turkey. Back in the day, I loved the pigs. So chitlins, oh, I love chitlins. So I'm talking about back in the day. This is before I made my transformation. Okay, but I'm not even gonna mention that now. But you know what, chitlins, hog moths, all of that. And you know what? We would just sit back and couldn't wait for grandma to say, you know what, it's come the time to come to the table. You know, we'll come to the table. How does it go in your family? How does it work in your family? Do y'all gather on Thanksgiving? Does it mean anything to y'all? And we would gather around the table, and of course, sometimes somebody's hand would go for the plate. He said, oh. The grandfather would say, you don't do this in this household until you pray. Okay. And then, of course, he would lead the prayer in the house. And then, you know what? Thanksgiving you know what? I mean, my eyes were like, hold them over like that. It was like, man, on the table, man. It was greens, it was mashed potatoes, it was eggnog and sweet potatoes. Almost want to give me a diabetic coma, but I wasn't a diabetic coma. Not at that age, not at no 10 years old. Not nah. But the thing is, eggnog. She even had eggnog. You know, I always thought that was for Christmas. Anything that you could imagine. And you know what? You think about those memories. You go back and you think about those memories of the way things used to be. And you know what? You may have some memories that you want to share in the chat room about how your grandmother or your grandfather or your stepmother or your stepfather or your mother or your father, how did they do things? How did your uncle do things? How? How did y'all celebrate Thanksgiving? Then we just gather around the table. And you know what? Actually, those were the days. You see all this great that I got. Those are the days I believe that we was more thankful for things. We were more thankful for things. But like I say, looking back on it, if I would have had it to do over again, I would have spent more time with my grandfather and grandmother because you know as you get older, you realize that you may have a PhD, you may have a master's degree, you may have a trade, but you know what? Your grandfather and grandmother have so much worldly experience that you know what? That you could have used it. And I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say you because I don't know what you did, but I could have used it in my developmental stage. So you know what? See, put something in the chat room if you have a memory that you want to share. If you want to share, please put it on in the chat room. And you know what? I'll put it on up. Try to respond to it or try to read it. Type right. And so Thanksgiving, I know about the pilgrims and all that, but you know what? I'm just not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about. There's some other sides of Thanksgiving, but I'm not getting it because this is a joyful case. Then you know what? We would sit around our table, my Uncle Michael, Uncle Leonard, Father, my mother, Beverly, Gail sometimes, and it's got an uncle named Groundhog. And you know what? It's so many people, Star, and it's just so many people. And you know what? I could call these names, but you know what? I can't remember their names. But you know what? It's just like it was yesterday. And we would sit around and tell stories. Listen to my grandfather. Always talking about fishing and talking about the biggest one that got away and all that. And then we gonna play some cards. Yeah, little kids played cards, but the grown people was playing the cards. And you know what? That was back in the day when the grown people the kids wasn't supposed to be with the grown people. They'd tell you, you know what? You go ahead and leave the room. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? They might be using profanity, and then I'll be sitting up there. They don't know. But I was sitting up there listening to what they're saying. They might use a little foul language or something like that. But you know what? But that's why they told all children to leave the room because they believe back in that day, most of them believe the children are to be seen and not heard, and they're not to hear everything that you say. That's one of the problems, I think, with young mothers and young fathers. I think some of them, not all. We can't generalize and say, you know what? You try so hard to raise your child, but you know what? You try to be their friend, their best friend. But you know what? But you have to separate the two. You know what I mean by be a best friend? Hey, you know what? They can drink with me. They can smoke a cigarette with me. They could talk back to me. And that's okay. But you're setting them up for a fall, and then I think like when they do that, at some point they lose some type of respect for you because they don't look at you as the parent. They look at you as being a friend. Okay. And that's a problem. But anyway, getting back to Thanksgiving. Oh man, I mean, my grandmother could bake. She just could bake. Could your grandmother really bake? You know, my grandmother loved to bake pies and cakes and all that. And you know what? And say it was commendable. Her name was Olivia. And thing about it is that I don't know if it's where my community activist thing come from, but you know what? She used to take care of people that lived on the streets, where if they wanted something to eat on Sunday, they knew that they could come to my grandmother's house on the west side of Chicago. I'm a southeast side in Chicago, but officially we say east side, but somebody doesn't live there, so you live on the southeast side. So you know what? And she would feed people that was destitute, that had a hard time in the community. And you know what? She was a remarkable lady. Love to play cards. Love to play cards. But you know what? That's what I would say. Thanksgiving. How are you going to celebrate Thanksgiving? How are you going to celebrate Thanksgiving? You know what? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna be with your friends? You're gonna be with your family. You're gonna sit at home. You're gonna look at the football games. So are you gonna cool out? Are you going out of town? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Tell me. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna celebrate it? You know what? Because some people that means a whole lot. But I think the best part of it is you get to see family members that you have not seen under normal circumstances. Because you know what? As the family grows, people start to go left, they start to go east, west, south, and you know what? They had their own lives. But you know what? But it gives the family an opportunity to get reacquainted with each other again and to hear some lies, some big stories about what they're doing, and they living in a garage, but they may be doing something. Anybody you run around and say, hey man, they think they're so much, all they're doing is talking about themselves. And you enjoy the company. You hear the stories. You hear stories that you hear stories about what they used to do years ago and what you used to do years ago. And you know, my cousin George, I got a cousin named George Bradley. You know what? Yeah, whenever we have a gathering, you know what? He always say, you know what, man, you used to do that. I was like, man, what do you mean I used to do that? He said, see, you getting old. You just don't remember. You getting old. I said, oh, is that what it is, man? I'm getting old. I said, well, you got some gray hairs yourself. And then you know what? Then we just sit up here and you know what? We just start laughing at each other. We start laughing at each other. You know what? We start laughing at each other. You know what? And Charlene and Sandra, Tommy, and hey man, I got a cousin named Sheila. They ain't Bridget, Quinn. You know what? All these people, Lisa. I mean, I'm gonna leave somebody out. Sherry over there in Texas, and you know what? And I never had. I think you know what? As a child, you know what? For Thanksgiving, sometimes we just didn't go to my grandmother's house. Sometimes we went over to my Aunt Helen's house, and man, she could cook. She could cook. When I left, you know how it is, man. When you get through eating, you feel like going to sleep. But she could cook. You know, actually, all my aunts could cook. My Aunt Helen and my Aunt June, they could really cook. But I think it was just important to come together as a family structure. You know what? No matter how busy we were, it's like Soul Food. If you ever saw that movie Soul Food, where the family just came together, and Big Mama was sitting there. She was sitting there at the table and she was baking all that. And they sort of lost the tradition. It's a movie called Soul Food. They lost the tradition when Soul, I think they almost lost it. They pulled it back together when Big Mama died or something like that. That was hard on the family. But because Big Mama knew how to settle things, you know, she knew how to make people feel comfortable. For Thanksgiving dinner, what does Thanksgiving dinner, what does it represent to you? Go ahead and put something in the chat room and let me know. Hey, put something in there. You know, do you like it? Okay, do you like Thanksgiving? Do you dislike Thanksgiving? What do you enjoy about? And you know what? Some people on Thanksgiving, they feel lonely. They feel lonely because you know what? They start thinking, you know what, the loved ones, the loved one that I had is all gone. They're gone. But really, they're not gone. Because you know what? If you're still thinking about them, they're still in existence. You know, it still exists in your mind. But you can't really say that. But I can understand how you can be saddened by around the holidays. Because there's somebody that said that people really get depressed. Some people really get depressed around holidays. Uh, I say, you know what? You should express your emotions the way you want to express them. You know, if you feeling that way, hey man, you know what? Don't sit up here and tell me grown men don't cry. Cause I mean, I ain't cried. Cried, okay? Because you know what? Some people that touch your heart that meant something to you. You know what? It they had an effect on your life. Okay, and I'm talking about people that had done things positive, but you got people that have done things negative, but you're not gonna think no good things of them. You really not, you know. But it'd be good to forgive them. That's good because you know what? It's it. All some of us have a hard time forgiving, and you know what? I'm gonna admit I got to work on that my own self. You know what? Because I see somebody do something, and that's counterproductive to try to destroy my inner being, my self esteem. You know what? I sort of get away from those people, and I don't really, you know what? I don't disrespect them, but you know what? All I do is just move away from them, and then if they I'm working for them or something, I just listen to them, and then I just move on. But getting back to Thanksgiving, hey, look at that table, man. Look at the turkey, but it's more to it than that. You know what? You need to spend time with your family. That's what you need to do on that day. This is some double overtime. But if it's some double overtime, you know what? I still say if I really sit back and look at it, the double overtime, I might have worked double overtime and missed the holiday occasion. But you know what? I don't know what happened with that money. But you know what? But those memories of being with your family is very important. It's very important. You have to spend time with your family. You have to make time because you know what we we find all type of thing. We find all type of time to do other things. But you know what? We need to make time for our family. That is that is something that we need to do. We need to make time for our family. And a lot of us we get caught up in the dunya. We get caught up. We get caught up in the dunya. We get caught up. And you know what? And we put the money before our families. So Thanksgiving, that's what it represents to me. It represents being together with the family. watching football games. For me, okay, because it means different things to different people. And getting reacquainted with people that you love and new people that they bring into the family, getting acquainted with the new people that has come into their lives. So that's what it means in Christmas. Hey man, same thing. I'm really repeating myself. Christmas, first of all, let me say about Christmas. I say Christmas, I think that people lose. I'm not gonna say think, I'm sure that people they concentrate more on the gifts. What did they get me? What did they do? Wow, I can't wait. I feel, this is a personal opinion. I feel that the emphasis should be more about Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, and what he meant for those that understand. And you know what? Some say he was born on that day, some say he wasn't. But I'm talking about what the day represents in a Judeo Christian society. People get caught up and hung up about what they bought, what type of present they got. And you know what? It's not even, first, I don't celebrate it, but I used to celebrate it. I used to love it. I can remember as a child, you know what, my mother and father, you know what, man. I'm not gonna say anything we wanted, but they got us a whole lot of stuff. But you know what? You don't have to get a whole lot of stuff to have a Christmas if that's what you celebrate. Me giving you a card. But I guess a child would not understand that this of a different religion. They would not understand getting a card or $5 or $10 or $50 because they're looking for an Xbox, they're looking for a PlayStation, and you know what? I don't even know what other toys they have. Okay, because I'm from an age where we play Monopoly. Okay, and Risk and Clue and all that. But they have things, they be more but the emphasis should be on the Messiah. Peace and blessing be upon him. Not so much, not so much getting a gift. And if you're gonna celebrate that, it should be some type of discussion in your household about the Messiah and what the Messiah did according to your theology. Okay, everybody does not have the same theology. Okay, but I'm talking about for those that are celebrating that specific day for that specific reason. What they should do is talk about the Messiah and what the Messiah meant. That is something that's something they should do, you know. But you probably say, man, how you going to tell me what to do in my house? So all I'm doing is giving a suggestion because you know this is a platform when you get the opportunity to share your ideas. You know what other people that are looking, and I can see, man, there are people that are watching, but you know what? It's nobody putting nothing in the chat room. You know what? You want to put something in the chat room, put something in there, type something, or telephone number. You can call the telephone number. You know what? I ask you a question on air. I can see right here with this platform, it takes time to build up audience. It takes time. But you know what? I'm gonna work with it. You know, I'm gonna work with it. You know, I'm gonna thank the person worker. They introduced me to this by, you know, working with them. You know, this is a great platform to have. It really is. You know, and I want to thank her. You know, Shalom. I want to thank her. You know what? Because under her leadership, I have learned more than I ever learned before. You know what? And I'm doing it every day, and I'm becoming more competent at it. And Of course, the broadcast is not what it should be, but you know what is. I go through my developmental stage, it will get better. But Christmas, like I say, my old man and I'm not gonna say old man, my father and my mother, man, they were wonderful people. You know, man, have a tree back in the day. Have a tree, even had a little starch tree. But we didn't go so far as to have a mistletoe. You know, a mistletoe, I don't even know. It's like something that you put up under somebody and then you give them a little kiss or something like that. But again, after that, we go back over my grandmother's house. And you know what? We would go through this whole same scenario all over again. But but I like to, you know what? But I would like to know, what does Thanksgiving mean to you? What does it mean? What is it all about? How does it touch you? You know what? Who do you miss during Christmas and Thanksgiving? I told you, man, I miss people. And you know what? I truthfully, I would sit back, like I say, and just cry. You know, I'll cry. Yeah, grown men cry. Contrary to other beliefs, grown men do cry. And you know what? I sit back and cry sometimes. And God forbid, you know what, really cry. You know what, you know what strange is, you know what, no matter how old you are, you never forget. You never forget what day your father died on or your parents died on. And you know what? That is a day that I just want to be in solitude, in solidarity with my own self and sit back and just think about it. You know. So I would say that is something that is something that I think about doing holidays. You think about all your aunts, you think about all your uncles, your cousins, your nieces, your grandfather, your grandmother, and you think about all of it. But you know what? But Christmas and Thanksgiving. Hey man, I hope the Chicago Bears win if they play on Thanksgiving, but they probably won't even put the Chicago Bears on Thanksgiving because they have like a losing record. You know. But you know what's funny about the Chicago Bears? The Chicago Bears, they have a new quarterback called Justin Fields. He's young, and they just lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, I'm not gonna say what a week. Okay, because this will be old by the time some people see this. But man, I saw a lot of promise in them. But you know what? But well, I think me and my father usually, if we wasn't playing cards, or he wasn't playing cards, you know what? That's all we looking at is football games, and then the women in the other room, they were playing cards. And some was playing cards with the men, but like I said, but the kids was off into another place. What is your ritual on Thanksgiving? What do you do on Thanksgiving? Do you eat a lot of turkey? Because Lord knows I ate a lot of turkey. Like I say, told y'all, do you eat a lot of candy yams? Do you like the cornbread stuffing? Do you like the eggnog? And you know what? Macaroni and cheese. Oh my God. I'm crazy about macaroni and cheese. Yeah, mashed potatoes sometimes. And I didn't like the mashed potatoes out of the box. You know, and it was a lot of fun. It was fun. It was fun. So, you know what? I think this will be my broadcast for tonight. And you know what? I think what it is I have to get into doing this on a consistent basis. And if you see something that I need to improve at, please, you know what? Call me. You know what? I leave me a comment, say, man, you know what? You need to improve in it. Some people, you know what somebody told me, you need to take your hat off. Okay. So some people say you need to take your hat off. Some people say you need to leave your hat on. You know what? But you know what? I think when you're doing this, you should feel comfortable in doing it as long as you don't look tacky or anything like that. Y'all may see all this gray. Some people put dying in the gray, but I don't do that. You know, but those that want to do it, do it. You know, but I think Frank Sinatra once had a song. He said, I did it my way. But that doesn't mean that I don't listen to the people. I am very grateful for the people that take time to sit down and look at a broadcast that I do, and them to share it and to make a comment. You know, I've come a long way. I don't mean to sound like this. It used to be a commercial with Virginia Slim. That was a cigarette commercial. You come a long way, baby. I've come a long way, baby. But you know what? Still have to humble myself and not think more of myself than what I am, because when we start to think more of ourselves than what we are, the creator is not happy with that. When we go around beating our chests and bragging and talking about what we got and what we don't got and all that, you know what? God is not God is not pleased with that. And you know what? We must not do that, because you know what? Those are attributes of the devil when we do that. And when I hear people just brag, you know what I do? I just listen to them. You know, I listen to them. And I say, you know, I guess some people say we don't judge. We all make a judgment to make a decision about who we want to be associated with. People that just constantly brag and, hey man, I'm the greatest. You know what? That could be interpreted as confidence. But if you can see when a person thinks that the world is centered around them, and you know what? They have a right to be the way they want to be, but I have a right to associate with who I want to associate with, because as a sovereign human being and person to make my own decision. But those type of people I listen to, but I put something in my mind. This is not somebody that I want to associate with, but I will not be disrespectful to them. But all I want to do, I just want to keep my distance from them, you know. And there have been people like I do TV shows in Chicago that have made promises. Hey man, I'm gonna have you on. You gonna have me on, and they didn't fulfill that. And you know what? That's their right. And you know what? But I just leave them alone. You know, I just leave them alone. One day I'm gonna call some names, but maybe that's not proper to call names. You know what? Because what you're doing is, if they go low, you should go high. But you know what? But I assure you that I have prayed to my Creator about it, to tell the Creator how I felt about how I was mistreated by people that do the same thing I do, and they took advantage to gather audience that they wouldn't have under normal circumstances. But you know what? You know what? Like it's a guy named Shim Shai that used to sell stuff in Chicago on 75th and Stony Island. People that know the area, Kurt's Exchange and the Kentucky Fried Chicken across the street. But he said, brother, we know about the evil ones. He said, let them do what they do. But he said, after this all said and done, the Lord above is in control. So I feel like nobody has the ability to stop me from doing what I'm doing. It is the Creator that is in control of everything and everybody. You know, like Even if you don't like me, if the Creator deemed it was something for me, I would get it with or without your help. But I wouldn't get it in my time. I get it in the Creator's time if I deserved it. I'm gonna take that back. If I deserved it, because sometimes you can get something that can lead you towards destruction. You know how it is. You think something is good for you, but it's bad for you. So you seek refuge in your Creator. You know, so if people want to be that way, that's fine. But you know what? But that's my synopsis. That was me talking about Thanksgiving and talking about Christmas. And you know what? Used to celebrate, I don't now, but you know what? But that won't stop me from getting it. That won't, I mean, unless it's Allah's will, God's will, it won't stop me from celebrating my family. But I shouldn't even say that because you know what? I don't even know what the next second holds. You know, like some people kill me when they say, man, you know what? They leave you. They say, man, I'll see you tomorrow. You don't know that. Because you know what? You don't even know what the next second holds. So you know, in Islam we say inshallah. I mean, if that's Allah's will. So I'll take it back. If it's the will of God, I will be with my family members on that day. And for me, it's not the symbolism of Thanksgiving or Christmas, but for me, each individual, you know what they think for themselves and they have their own belief systems. For me, it would be just to gather with my family, you know, gather with my family. So leave me a comment, leave me a suggestion, leave me an idea. Okay. Did you like this? You didn't like this? Who are you going to be with on Christmas? Who are you going to be with on Thanksgiving? What is your favorite food? Macaroni, sweet potatoes, chitlins. Some people love chitlins. Ham. Okay. Roast beef, turkey. I love turkey, but you know what? I do not like the white meat. You know what? Because it's just too dry for me. But I will eat it. I think I will eat it like in soup and salad because you know what? I'm putting some type of salad on it to give it some type of moisture, or I will eat it in soup because it's not dry. But my preference is dog meat. I love dog meat, but they kill me at all. Kentucky Fried Chicken, you know, giving me all them legs. I said, man, I want the thighs. But some people love the breasts, some people love the wings. But this has been a broadcast. You know what? If you can leave me some type of feedback about about the broadcast. Did you like it? Did you hate it? You know what? Was the sound good enough? Was it too low? Was it too high? Was it too much light? Should I take the hat off? You know what? And what are you gonna do on those days? What are you gonna do? Okay. So think what I'm going to do is I'm going to time out. And you know what? I see there are people watching, but you know what? I want to say humbly, thank you for the people that took time out of their day, out of their afternoon, out of their evening, no matter where you may be at whatever time you're looking at this, to look at this broadcast. I am very appreciative and I humble myself and say, thank you. Thank you. Ashakran, which also means thank you in Arabic. To if you're looking at this in the United States, Canada, Central America, Asia, Africa, the UK, China, Australia, Antarctica. Thank you. And if only one person, if the algorithms are just wrong on this show, and you know what, by looking at it, if it's just one person looking at this broadcast, I want to thank you for watching this broadcast, and I hope that I said something that may change and transform your life. You know, with your comments and suggestions, you already have helped me to transform my life, to help me as I go through my developmental stages. I want to thank you. Okay? Even if it's one person, you know, because one person can change the world, but they can only change the world with God or Allah's help. That's the only way. You know, so next week I'm gonna get this guest. I think I'm gonna have a guy named brother named Randy Evans come on, and I'm going to have a contributor come on. You know, David Koss, he is a contributor, and Miss Shirley is a contributor to the Underground Railroad television show. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you one thing. I do a television show that comes on in Chicago on Channel 19 at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. Somebody might be bootlegging in a different city and getting canned TV. It comes on Channel 19 at 10:30 p.m. in Chicago. Okay. And we make television shows. Okay. We make television shows and we film events. At the bottom, I will put in the description, I will put telephone number there, and I will put the website information where you can get more information about the Underground Railroad and Shaymar Media Productions. But I guess I can keep on talking forever because I'm talkative. I'm very talkative. But I think around people that I'm just not too sure about, I don't really talk that much. You know what? I listen. You know what I mean? Because people out there like to play a lot of devious games, and they like to use information to their advantage to undermine you. And I guess they said keep your your friends close and your enemies closer. But I'm not like that. I try to stay away from my enemies. And like I said, but you can't really take. You really can't. You can tell, but sometimes you can because you know there's a song called "Smiling Faces," and you know this is because it's called "Smiling Faces." And you really sometimes you can't tell who your friend is. Sometimes the person that you want to get closest to, and you trying to get to, and you really care about them, they don't care anything about you. And they will get a great joy out of seeing you fall. And the people that and sometimes the people that you don't think that much of might be the very one that helps you out. That may be there by your side. So people that we praise, because we should only praise the Creator. But sometimes people that we hold dear to our hearts, they don't have any. There's a wicked thought in their mind. Not all the time. I'm just using it as an example. But that's what I say. You must pray and you must be guided. You must. I said, I gotta go up here, you know what, and make Isha prayer. That's Isha prayer. That's the last prayer for a Muslim. And out of 5 prayers. And we must seek refuge in our Creator. Don't seek refuge in man and all these things that shine and glitter. You got gold, you got a car, you got a big bank account, you're rich. You know what? If you truly ain't got the Creator, you poor. You know what? I'm richer than you if I live in the gutter and I got my Creator and I'm able to pray, make my salats. I'm much richer to you because you understand all these material things. They ain't gonna make no difference anyway. Because Because I could say once Gabriel comes back to blow that horn, that's an angel, whole earth is going to be flattened. And it's going to be blown a second time. And everybody's going to wake up and be in line for judgment. So you had your car. You know, there's something I'm going to leave you with. I don't know if it's a hadith. I don't know. It's hadith. So that one day, Allah, God was in the heaven, and there was a man that was in hell. He was in hell. He was burning. He had everything. Everything. He had car. He had money. He had fame. He had status. Everything. Limousine. But he was subject to the hellfires. Well, God, Allah, brought him up from the hellfires into heaven. For 1 second, it gave him a second. And Allah, God asked the man, did you ever enjoy yourself in the dunya? Dunya means earth. Did you enjoy yourself when you was on earth? He's going to say, no, I never did. So it's metaphoric. So therefore, what I'm saying is one taste of the fire of the hellfires, Jehannam, it will make you forget all of the joy, all of the accolades, all of the clapping and the pat on the back and the big car and all the women. It'll make you forget all the joy that you had in the dunya on earth. Remember that. You know what? Perhaps I was only on to give that message tonight. I don't know. You know what? So I would say to people that are listening, everything that is good from me that I said came from Allah, came from God. Everything that is bad, it came from myself. And may Allah forgive me, but I was speaking from my heart. Okay, so I want to thank everybody, and I want to give everybody words of Assalamu alaikum. Wherever you are, share this broadcast, give me a comment, me a suggestion, an idea. I say that humbly, and thank you.